respond as witnesses, because when you bring a witness to respond for you, the witness is meant to defend you based on cross-examination from the prosecuting counsel and the defense counsel. The prosecuting counsel, they're done. All the witnesses they brought in were DSS operators, and most of the DSS operators were behind a screen while they were responding. Now, the questions were asked on if indeed some of the rhetorics and narratives that Nnamdi Kanu spewed, if they were actionable offenses. They also said if they saw with their eyes anything done that you could consider treason. They also asked the narrative, that is the things that they heard, where did you hear them from? Was it self-confessed? When Nnamdi Kanu was given all the statements he was given, did he have a legal representative? Because Nnamdi Kanu said, I think the first time there was no legal representative, so it was like his responses were done under duress. And I think the court at the time said, that he was meant to have a legal counsel there to represent him. Nnamdi Kanu also alluded that for days while he was in DSS custody, they didn't allow him to have access to his legal counsel, so there was no guidance. The prosecuting counsel or whoever was interrogating, that's DSS operators, kept interrogating, and you know how interrogation goes. Yeah. They could use any measure to ensure that they extract whatever information they want to extract from you that may be convenient for them. These were the things that he described until I think his family kept on insisting that legal representation was needed, and it was all the statements he made, according to him, under duress by the DSS that was brought as evidence by the prosecuting counsel in court. Also, most of his broadcasts and tapes were what was played as well in court, which was an evidence for the prosecuting counsel. So my question is, how does Wike, Yusuf Bichi, I may even understand Malami, also the National Intelligence Agency director at the time, what's his other name? Dave Umahi, Imo State Governor Hopuzo Dimma. I think I may relate with that because of the incident that happened at his home. But did Nnamdi Kanu get some top secret information about these individuals that he wants to present to his legal team to cross-examine these witnesses? And are these witnesses appearing to defend him, or they're going to say, we don't know, or we don't even understand what we're here? And secondly, can these witnesses decide not to be in court or send representatives? Because some of them are active workers, like they're active FCT minister, active governor, former DG, former chief of army staff. I don't know if Burata is currently in Nigeria at the moment. What's your take on that?
Well, even if they appear physically or they send representative, it is still, allowed by law.
Okay.
So that's just it. The issue we should be worried about, Esther, is some of the names. How did it really concern this incarceration of Nnamdi Kanu? Like you mentioned Lagos State Governor.
Yeah.
What role is he playing in his incarceration?
That's what I don't know.
Then he mentioned there are some names there that I see like, I don't know how those names have to come in.
And he said they are compellable witnesses.
Yeah, but when he says compellable, what is he trying to prove to?
He said they are vital and compellable witnesses.
I understand.
Meaning that the law, based on, according to him, under Section 232 of the Evidence Act, I don't know what evidence he's presenting in court that these people are going to serve as a determinant for.
I think his legal team should also be able to know more about why these names are peddled. Because for me, when you talk of Buratai, the former chief of army staff,
and the former minister of defense,
yes,
there's also Imo State Governor,
Imo State Governor, and even the NIA,
yes, former NIA DG.
Yes, one could understand this one.
Former Abia State Governor as well. Okay,
as well. I don't know.
Minister of Works too.
Is present or former minister?
Minister of Works, Dave Umahi.
Dave Umahi is presently the current Minister of Works.
Minister of Works too.
Yes, but
he's also part of the compellable.
So one will be taken aback. What are the roles these ones are playing?
I don't know.
NIA, for him to be extradited from Kenya down here, that there would have been a plan from DSS, NIA, and all, and even the chief of army staff and all, former chief of army staff and all that. That's understandable. But since other names that he's mentioning, I think they have to come to the court and clear their names.
Very indictive.
Yeah, because I especially when you are talking about Lagos State Governor. But I know every governor that from the south that he mentions are culpable. They have one or two things to answer.
You think so?
Yes, they should. Because even he's been in detention till today, some of them have a hands in it.
When you say vital and compellable witnesses, you're presenting witnesses, are they supposed to testify on your behalf? You're the defense team, you're opening your own defense now, so you're bringing witnesses to testify. Are they coming to testify on your behalf, or they're coming in for them to be cross-examined?
They're going to be cross-examined on what they know about his incarceration. So that's they can't testify on his behalf because he has mentioned them. He want them to come and.
Is it possible that these names listed are those responsible for his incarceration?
Well, he should know better.
That he wants them for cross-examination.
Esther, the issue is that you and I here don't know. We don't know much about the intel he has.
Yeah.
Since he's been there for 4 years, he must have known
Is
those.
it 4 years?
Yeah, since 2021.
Was 2012, 2020? Okay, it was
2021. It was June 2021. He was brought in. So he knows those that have been part of his being incarceration. So he knows the role most of these names he mentioned have played. So I think he know better. I think himself and his team, a legal team, should be able to cross-examine these people very well.
He seems very ready.
He's ready because he even said 90 days.
And that the reason why he's asking for 90 days is because he's citing the number of witnesses and the nature of evidence he intends to present.
That's the issue. That's the issue because that means he has a lot of information. He has a lot of intel on his palm that he wants to present before the court, probably which the court you and I are not aware of. So when this case is opened up, then we'll begin to hear more. We are going to.
There was a time I heard him tell his legal team not to tell people to beg for him.
Yes, he has said that.
Stop saying you have to beg.
Yes.
He was coming from a very confident perspective. Could it be because he was storing from mentioning these names?
Yeah, probably because of what we are saying now. Because he feels he is justified.
This is
whatever
he's going
doing.
to trial for treason. These names are attached to treason.
Treasonable offenses we have seen Nigerians have gone through it. And some of them have come out of it. So if his son may be also be.
No, what I'm saying, the names that he's listing, the persons he's calling, for them to have one form or link or the other to him, and he's going through a treasonable situation, that's hugely indicting, especially on the current governors and the ministers.
Well, the current governors will probably, they are still on immunity. They will send in whatever. I mean, cancers to just whatever. If really they are going to honor it. Esther, this was just
he said vital and compellable.
This was released today. This was released today.
So they have to be served.
So by between now and tomorrow, we are going to hear more from these people that were invited to put up and how they were able to go through it and how they came out of it. So we are still going to. This is just one man who have mentioned so many names. We know too well that everybody is like, okay, let this man be released. But even to him, he feel justified. He feel that if all he has to pour out before Nigeria is handled appropriately and legally, that he is going to be vindicated.
Interesting. So what's it with Nnamdi Kanu reshuffling his legal team? Most times, I'm sure you know about Michael Zekome.
Michael Zekome,
Then the other one, Ejiofor, the very fair one, that one stopped representing him. Before we saw Kanu Agabi along with Aloy Jimako, Maxwell Opara, and the rest of them. Could it be that there are some of his legal team who may be selling him out, and then he got an information that they're selling him out and decided for them to be changed? Or maybe he feel they were not going the extra mile in having to accelerate him being released from the DSS custody?
Well, it's right, Esther. If you feel your legal team is not doing your bidding, they are not doing enough, and you have the means to get more, you can ease out the ones you have. I think it's right. But this very present one, he seems very close to these ones, and he's been doing very well with them. But if he's having the mind or changing them, well, especially now that his case is going for hearing, he has the reason. Maybe probably want to show up those people. He has just mentioned name. Probably the legal team is bringing are even aware of what they are going to do with these names.
But if you're going to be bringing another team or another person, that person has to go through the case all over again.
And that would delay again. So these are.
Earlier today, he met with Kanu Agabi. Remember that Aloy is not there. He's still in detention. Okay, so fine. He met with Kanu Agabi. They discussed. And later, Kanu now signed, suggesting that he may have disengaged his legal team led by Kanu Agabi. Now, the disengagement, what we don't know about disengagement is either they were done at the court premises and everybody has been disengaged to go while he goes back to the custody, or Kanu Agabi is no longer representing. But I think that's one high profile person representing, because that man was a former Attorney General of the Federation. So you could say that just like Owole Olanipekwon, that he's in a good place to defend him. For him to brazenly call out all these names, it raises the curiosity of a lot of Nigerians as to what exactly is at play here and what impact or what form of affiliation these individuals listed have with Nnamdi Kanu and the treasonable felony trial that he's going through. I don't know if in the course of his broadcast he mentioned any of those names. I know he mentioned Hope Uzodinma a couple of times.
Yeah.
He also mentioned Tuku Buratai, who was the chief of army staff.
No, Tuku Buratai also is very understandable.
Yes,
very understandable.
He mentioned his name. A couple of the Southeast governors too. I'm not surprised about the name of Okezie Ekpeazu.
Yeah.
I'm not surprised about that.
That's his state governor.
Yes, then that was the state governor then of Abia State. Yes. Then was it the state governor in Abia State at the time? Yes. Okezie Ekpeazu is the one that Alex Oti took over from.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And so he's from Abia.
He's from Abia. So you now have what's his name? Bichi, the former DSS boss. It's not going to be surprising because those were the ones in charge of his case.
That's really not.
And I think the former DSS boss was also the one who was it the one that apprehended him the first time? You know, he appeared in court in 2015.
No.
He was not DSS.
No.
It was not UCPG.
No, I don't.
Are you sure?
Yeah, I don't think.
Okay.
Yeah, because it was this matter happened in 2021. 6 years.
This is the second time. No, the first time he was caught.
Yeah,
Have you forgotten where he was caught?
That was the time he now jumped the bay.
When they came to his home.
When they came to his home, that led to Barry Boy's involvement. That 100 million.
Barry was he shorty?
Was shorty 100 million. That when he jumped that bay, he was asked to pay.
Yes. So also Oluwatosin Adiola Ajayi, the current
that's the current
SSS. Would they cross-examine the current DSS DG?
I mean, SSS go.
Does he have any form of immunity against that?
No. They go to court most of the time to prosecute their SSS have been doing that. They have team of lawyers that will be there. I mean, whatever they are called for, because they are very much involved in this matter. So we will look at that. Then you will also look at by if really is disengaging his legal team, that will be in a court tomorrow. Will be able to tell the judge that he has a new team, and those ones will also seek for time for them to study the case before they.
Well, no, by tomorrow it's going to be led by.
So that's why I said everything he mentioned today is like a developing story.
There's something this man knows,
Yeah, that we don't know. So by tomorrow in the court, maybe we speak part of the
these names are
for
indicted.
Nigerians to know. Yes. Then Esther is.
Could it be all this information that had kept him incarcerated all this while? Whatever it is he knows about those people.
He should be able to tell Nigerians more about that tomorrow.
Do you think they will let us know? Because his case is, they will do their thing.
No, Nnamdi Kanu is
just
not.
Allow stuff to filter out.
Nnamdi Kanu is not that kind of person you can silence. He talks. You have seen so many time in court that he will, like, he's even angry. He will be
we just see him appear in court, but they don't let the process show. So what happens is the court writes out the procession. But if anything that they consider to be quite delicate, they wouldn't let people know. They will just summarize what exactly transpired. So if, for example, the Justice Omotosho had given him 6 days for his defense and he's asking for 90 days, all of this were done today after he met with his counsel. Do you think that the 90 days were granted? Because that's what he's asking for.
That's at the discretion of the chief judge.
Okay.
Yes.
So by tomorrow, we'll not get to know if they'll grant him 90 days,
yes.
or if they will tell him that these witnesses you're mentioning, we may not approve of it.
If he has all to cover all that number of days, remember the court is not only for him.
Yeah.
So that's that will come from the judge. If it is going to be granted.
Amongst the witnesses he mentioned, they don't necessarily have to be there physically.
No. They can send
representatives. What they don't even know that they're meant to even be witnesses there? Because there are some names that is actually shocking me.
Yes.
What if they don't know they're meant to be witnesses? Because I think by now they ought to be served.
Even the names he mentioned, some of them would have been shocked for their name to be in that list.
Yes.
Because I don't know, I can't fathom some of the correlation between some of the names he mentioned and his case.
Yeah.
But he knows better.
Mr. Ejimako's participation in this protest they say, is tantamount to trying to sway public opinion and, by extension, the court's view on the matter still under adjudication. I mean, your thoughts on, some of all of these things that I've unpacked before, we discuss on the issue of Nnamdi Kanu as well, because I believe that he has also filed.
Yes, very complex issues. And I think in this instance, I always like to say two things can be true at the same time. The first issue is dealing with the incarceration of the lawyer and the other group of activists. Now, when you look at that FIR report and the issues that they are being indicted for, there are a number of concerns. The number one concern being people are saying that, but this group also included Sowore himself. But Sowore is a free man. And the other 13, I believe, are in prison. So why is there separation between those who have been arrested? If they were all together in a group and alleged to have all committed the same offense, why is there this selectivity? So that means that clearly the playing field is not level. The rules are not applying equally, and many people are even challenging and contesting those rules to say, well, is this really what transpired? Were they really causing public disruption with their protest? Besides the fact that they did stay within the limits prescribed to them, when they tried to go beyond those limits, the police acted, and they were peaceful in their execution. However, another issue that I brought up earlier that I'll bring up is this issue of chanting war songs, and I think we have to be careful now with where we're going. I drew parallels with the case of Julius Malema in South Africa,